All right, welcome back, YouTube. So we are doing multicolored artifacts and lands in this video. This is our on the fly core set 2020 review. So most of these cards we haven't actually read before. So here we go. First one we've got Corpse Knight, which is 1 black, 1 white, 2/2. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. So this is like your go wide token strategy.
Aristocrat style deck. Yeah.
Yep.
So
it's worth playing in limited for sure.
Yeah.
And you build around it in standard.
Yep. Next, Creeping Trailblazer. 2 mana, 2/2. Other elementals you control get +1/+0. You can pay for Creeping Trailblazer gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each elemental you control. So I mean, at the worst, pay 4. It's a 3/3.
I'm pretty sure in the last video, the green cards, I said, a red-green elemental strategy is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's like everything in red makes elementals or is an elemental also.
Yep, and now we get ways to boost
your Lord.
them up. So, Empyrean Eagle, 3 mana, 2/3. It's Azorius. Flying and other creatures with flying get +1/+1. This is a great card in limited.
Yep.
If you're playing those colors, you're playing flyers, so this makes them all bigger.
Next, Iron Root Warlord, 3 mana star 5. So Iron Root Warlord's power is equal to the number of creatures that you control. So at a minimum, when on the battlefield, it is a 1/5. But you can pay 5 to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. It's not very often we see stars.
Not
lately.
too often.
They go one way or the other. They're either really, really good or just downright not playable in standard. So
yeah,
I don't think there's anything that's just kind of middle of the road, kind of made some inclusions into some decks.
Yeah, I think this is fine and limited, but I mean, we are looking at a standard that's going to have a Celestia token deck, so there's a potential here. But
I think the thing about in limited, you have a mana sink here, so
for sure. Kalia, Zenith Seeker. So this is a Mardu legendary creature, so it's 1 of each color. It's a 3/3 flying with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. Reveal an angel, demon, or dragon card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. So obviously this is a build around. I actually don't even mind playing this in limited if you're forced into these 3 colors. It would not be my first pick in a draft though.
Yeah,
because it really locks you into those colors.
I mean, the fact that it is an angel, a demon, and or a dragon, you could potentially
in each of those 3 colors. It's not all though.
What's that?
It is.
It is all 3.
Yeah,
you could potentially get 3. Yeah. The thing I think about though is that so you're paying 3 for this. Angels, demons, and dragons typically are higher casting cost cards. So you are gonna potentially be putting 3 cards that cost a lot more back into your hand and just kind of sitting there with them. Yeah, so there's a possibility.
I would definitely play it if you have to in limited.
I mean, 3/3 for 3.
Yeah, the cost is good, and if you have 1 card to hit in your entire deck, it's already an advantage.
So next is Kethis, the Hidden Hand. This would be the Abzan legend. It's a 3/4 Elf Advisor. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And then you can exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard, and until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. So I guess
it really centers around legendary cards.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about limited format, but there's a card called Glorious Rebirth in standard currently, at least for the time being, that works. It synergizes very well with legendary spells. So if you cast that, say they happen to whip the board. This back out there, you could actually just get rid of the 2 worst ones in your graveyard and recast that, bring it all back again.
Well, there's 36 planeswalkers.
So there's
previous set. So
definitely Teferi, if you're playing 5 colors now, just costs blue-white. Little Teferi, sorry. Yeah. So.
All right, so we have Kaikar, Wind's Fury. This is the Jeskai legendary, and it costs 4 mana total. 3/3 flyer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 flying spirit token. And then you can sacrifice a spirit to add red. I mean, again, if you're playing these colors in limited, you're playing this if you get it. I wouldn't draft it, first pick draft it, but it's an interesting card, that's for sure.
There's not a lot of spells I feel like in red and in blue that actually go along with this as in past sets, I should say. But it's decent.
Yeah. I think the main thing with all of these is that they're printing them for Commander.
Right. So, it's the thing to me. It is a core set.
Yep.
So that does happen. Next is Lightning Stormkin. So 2-mana 2/2 elemental wizard, but with flying and haste. Didn't we already see one that was already a wizard that was a 2/2 with flying and haste?
Adela's?
No.
8.
Yeah, we have Adela's 3, but I thought there was maybe it's a 1/1 or 1/2 or something like that with prowess.
Maybe. Nothing's coming to mind.
Yeah, I think it was a red-blue card that was like 1/2 with prowess.
If you're playing your Wizards deck,
8, so.
It fits into the Wizards deck, and I think in Limited it's fine to play this too.
Yep.
Moldervine Reclamation, 5-mana Golgari enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain a life and draw a card. This is nice because you're gaining a life instead of losing a life to draw a card. Yep. It is a really high casting cost, so
I think it's high upside for it though.
It's very high upside. I like this card in Limited. I think it's a build around in Standard.
So next is Ogre Siegebreaker. I guess it's a Rakdos card for 4 mana, 4/3. It has pay 4, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. So I guess interesting is that this is on the battlefield, so they already know it's coming. Instead of like in past where it's destroy something that has dealt damage this turn.
If you have 8 mana, you can play it from your hand and destroy something.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure.
Omnath. So this is the Teamer Legendary, which is an elemental. Total casting cost of 4. And it's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target elemental you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So this has got a lot of text on it again. So basically when it enters, you can deal damage equal number of elementals to any target. So it can hit creatures, planeswalkers, or the player. And whenever a land enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on target elemental, not himself. And then you can on any target elemental, but you don't have to. He's putting it anywhere he wants to, basically. And then only when this ability triggers, if you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So, I mean, again, they're building they're printing these legendaries for Commander, really. There could be a cool Teamer elemental deck that emerges, I think.
Well, you have the red-green elementals deck.
Right, yeah.
Splash blue, and you have
and there's other blue elementals, too.
Yeah. So next is Risen Reef. This is the... Oh, I forget what it even... Simic. I should know this by now. The Simic card. I know.
You played
right?
Ooze.
I know. It's a 1/1 elemental, but whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, put it into your hand. So I guess the thing to note is that it could still be a land, and you could put it into your hand.
Yeah, it's a May ability.
So if you do have something like, say you have a way that you need to discard something, you need a card in your hand to do that. This does allow you to do that. Not that I'm sure you would, because ramp is really good in those colors. But
I like this card a lot.
Yeah.
What's the 2-mana 1/1 that does kind of the same thing? I can't think of what it's.
No.
But I like this card. So we'll move on. Sky Knight Vanguard, 2-mana 1/2 flying. Whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 soldier that's tapped and attacking. I guess it goes in the Flyers deck.
Yeah. Tombbound Lich.
If you gotta play it, it's fine.
3-mana 1/3 that I guess there's a lot for this thing. Like, it's a zombie wizard with Death Touch, Lifelink, and then whenever it enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. It's not a May, so you have to draw a card and discard a card. So that does kind of stink if you're empty-handed when you play this thing.
If you're in a top deck mode.
Yeah, but I think the upside to it's a lot better. Like, it's a 1/3 with Death Touch and Lifelink. So
it's preventing a lot of damage as a stop sign. Then we have Rien, Angel of Rebirth. This is the Buy a Box promo. Okay. So this is a Naya. That's the combination there, right? Yeah. 5/4 with flying. Other multicolored creatures you control get +1/+0. And whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So this is a pretty good card if you're playing those colors, which I think Tim is playing a Naya deck right now.
I think he was, yeah.
So he's probably going to be playing this card is my guess. It makes it very hard to get rid of things if you can protect her.
So I guess the thing to note is it is the Buy a Box promo.
Yep.
So you're not going to see this in your sealed pool.
Correct.
But it is something to look out for. And it is available only in foil?
Only in foil, yep.
So, next is Yarok, the Desecrated. This would be the Sultai Legendary. So 5 mana, 3/5 with Death Touch and Lifelink. And if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
Trigger.
So I'm sure a lot of people just got triggered by me saying that. But this kind of fits along with your, like, I guess it's been the Sultai synergy, the Golgari synergy, the Explorer Core package, if you will.
Oh, man, it's going to be so boring.
Yeah, so this thing is, I'm sure people
and it's an
play
elemental.
that. Yeah, so I don't know. I've played it a couple of times. I don't really care for that whole Explore thing.
Let's start the artifacts.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Anvil Wrought Raptor. 4 mana, 2/1 flying with first strike. I don't mind this card in limited. It's just not going to be my first pick for a 4-drop.
So, Bag of Holding. A 1 mana artifact says whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. Pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card.
Which then exiles from your graveyard.
Right. But then you could also pay 4, tap it, sacrifice Bag of Holding, and return all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner's hand. So I guess the thing is, it's not whenever a card is put into your graveyard, but only when you discard a card. Thing to note is that when your opponent makes you discard a card.
Yeah.
So, like, they're going to make you discard
Thought
something, Thought Erasure it.
Yep.
You're going to, like, if you have a bag, you could potentially, and I say you're going to get it back, but you could potentially get it back later.
Yeah, they could destroy an artifact. I mean,
Yeah.
Disenchant is a thing.
Yep.
So yeah, this is an interesting card. It lets you loot, and it has an upside from looting. So,
Yep.
Colossus Hammer, 1 mana. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. However, the equipped cost is 8.
I want to play that thing. I so badly want to.
We're done talking about it.
I know. Next is Diamond Knight. So it's a 3 mana 1/1 artifact with Vigilance, but then as Diamond Knight enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen color, put a +1/+1 counter on Diamond Knight. What's the other Diamond?
Diamond Mare.
Diamond Mare.
Gain a life.
Yeah. So you gain a life for playing a spell of that color.
Okay, I suppose... Isn't there something that makes equip costs, like, free or something?
I'm sure there's a couple of them that make equip costs cheaper.
So, like, maybe you could play this?
I'm going to try and play that, guys.
No,
at some point in time.
Is this mine?
Yeah.
Diviner's Lockbox. 4 mana. Artifact. I guess they're all artifacts.
Yeah.
1 and tap. Choose a card name, then reveal the top card of your library. If that card is the chosen name, sacrifice the lockbox and draw 3 cards. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So I guess if you have a good way to scry, like with Treasure Map, this would kind of synergize pretty well with that.
Octoprofit as far as this set goes for limited. So Golos Tireless Pilgrim. It's a 5 mana 3/5 legendary artifact creature. And then when Golos enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Then it's what?
7.
2 plus Wooburg, exile the top 3 cards of your library, and you may play them this turn without paying their mana costs. So, currently
it's a commander card.
Yeah, there's no way to cast that without having, like, Chromatic Lantern.
I mean, you could just play 5 colors.
I guess,
yeah, it's obviously a commander card because it's going to have the color identity of 5. So.
Yeah.
Then Grafdigger's Cage. This is a great reprint. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield.
Yeah.
Narcomoeba, he not coming back.
I know.
He's not casting for free. So, and then it says players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. So they could still do things like Aid the Fallen, because it doesn't say you can't target them. They just can't enter the battlefield from those zones.
You could still play Crippling Chill, right?
You're not casting that from your library.
Yep. And then
it's a trigger.
Damage, so there's some cards that they printed that seems specifically to get around this, even though this is coming later. But this is actually the first one of the 2.
I already forgot what the creature does.
Yeah. You can find them.
Yeah, you can find these, and whatever the cost was is like a 2 mana 1.
Yeah, and it costs like 3 or something, and you go find them. So here's a Heartpiercer Bow is a 2 mana artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. Equip cost of 1. I guess if it's on, like, you have this and it's on something big.
Or a Death Touch creature.
Or a Death Touch creature, yeah. Would be really good. And as we've seen, I think there's quite a few with Death Touch.
Yeah, there's a lot of creatures, and there's a lot of 1/1s.
And there's also a 1/1 that has Death Touch and Lifelink.
Yep. And the 1/3 in Dimir, that's a 1 lifelink.
And it deals, so...
Yep. So you can take out blockers with it. It's not a bad card per se. It just will never see constructed play.
I think the hard part is there's not a lot of 1 toughness creatures you're playing in this.
No, you have to put it on a Death Touch creature for it to be decent.
No, I mean as far as your opponent.
Yeah, that's true.
They're a lot harder there.
Yep. Icon of Ancestry. It's a 3 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of that type get +1/+1, and then pay 3 and tap. Look at the top 3 cards of your library and reveal a creature card of the chosen type and put it into your hand. So if you're playing like an elemental deck, this would kind of slot right into it.
I guess you have to see, as far as like the limited implications. There's not a whole
limited is going to be very tough to play.
Yeah, if you're playing elementals and you get this.
Yeah, if you build a limited elemental deck, this would be okay. But like, it's going to be really hard to play this in limited. But I think in standard you could potentially play a couple of them in a tribal deck. Yeah, in a tribal deck.
Yeah. So next is Manifold Key. 1 mana. And then you can also pay 1, tap it, untap another target artifact, or pay 3 to tap it. Target creature can't be blocked this turn.
So Traxos doesn't untap, and he's what, a 4 mana for
4 mana 7/7?
Yeah. So like this is a good way to untap him, but it's kind of a 2 card doesn't win the game combo. So who knows?
I guess is the point of it. Like,
well, the point of this is Time Vault, right?
Yeah.
Untap Time Vault, take a turn.
I mean, it's like functional reprint of other cards. Yeah.
All right, Marauder's Axe, 2 mana artifact. Equipment, equip creature gets +2/+0, equip cost of 2. It's an okay equipment if you're looking to fill a slot, I guess.
So here's a reprint that I really like. Meteor Golem. It's a 7 mana 3/3, but when it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent controls. So this is like the top end of your curve, I feel like, but it's also a creature that destroys anything that's not a land.
Planeswalker, anything. So plus we have a Golem Lord.
Yeah, so I guess
like, there's a little bit of synergy there.
And that what does it give it? +1/+1, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's a 4/4 for 7, but like it's better. You know, it synergizes a little bit. And then we have Mystic Forge for 4 mana. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. You can cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact or colorless non-land card, which is an interesting way of phrasing that. And then you can tap it, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library, so you can cast Ghostfire off the top of your deck. That's pretty sweet. Colorless non-land.
I totally forgot about Ghostfire.
Yeah. I've been waiting for a reprint on Ghostfire for years.
I know, I stocked up on them.
All right, next.
Next is a Pattern Matcher. So it's a 4 mana 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a card with the same name as another creature you control. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. It gives you the Squadron Hawk effect on this card for another card, right?
Yeah.
I guess you get multiples.
I'm wondering if there's like I don't want to say a birthing pod type strategy.
Oh,
you're sacrificing.
I mean, you get Vanifar.
Yeah, but like most of those decks are 1-of, so it's kind of an odd.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Go find your backup Vanifar.
Yeah, I guess. Like, all right, next Prismite, 2 mana 2/1, pay 2 and swap that mana for a mana of any color. Goodbye.
Retributive Wand, 3 mana, but then 3 tap it. It deals 1 damage to any target, and then when it's put into your graveyard from the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to any target. So I guess that's the best worked with anything that sacrifices or destroys.
Mm-hmm. So I don't mind this for a mana sink too.
Right, 1 damage still adds up.
Yep. Salvager of Ruin, 3 mana. It's a 2/1 artifact creature. It is a construct type, if there's any synergies. You can sacrifice it. Choose target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn and return it to your hand. I feel like if what was that thing that just got banned in Modern not too long ago? Made infinite mana. Was really stupid with Scrap Trawler.
Kirkland Ironworks.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been a broken combo there.
Yeah, I feel like there already almost was.
Yeah.
So now we have Scuttlemutt. It's a 3 mana 2/2 artifact creature Scarecrow. So this is the first Scarecrow we've seen. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, target creature becomes the color or colors of your choice until end of turn. Not sure where the colors of your choice right now, but I guess maybe there's something coming in the future.
Yeah, I don't know why you need it to be multicolored. Well, I guess no, because there are things that say target multicolored or target monocolored creature, right? Like
if you talk about other
not in standard, of course,
right? But yeah.
Ultimate price.
Yep. Yeah, it's sure target monocolored creature.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's some applications there, probably mostly for Commander because of Scarecrow synergy.
No,
would be my guess. And then we have another reprint, Steel Overseer, 2 mana for a 1/1 construct again. But you can tap it to put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. So if you're playing a colorless strategy, like I think there's one of those decks in Modern plays colorless creatures.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't it named after a mechanic that's not even in the deck?
Could be something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So anyways, it sees play.
It's like some robots or something.
Yeah. Next card.
Stone Golem, 5 mana, 4/4.
No, it's a 5/5. Because you got the Lord.
Yeah, because it is a golem.
It's a golem.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Vial of Dragonfire.
This is the other one.
Yeah, this is the other thing that you can fetch with the creature. So it's a 2 mana artifact. Pay 2, tap it, sacrifice it, shock a creature.
I don't like this one like that. I like the other one.
I think they're both just mediocre at best. Okay, so we're on to the lands. So we're not going to go over every single one of these. So we have one of these gain lands in every single color combination. So each guild has one. So unless you're playing the Guild Gates deck, this is just an upgrade to having to run one of the gates. And they all gain a life. So we're just going to go to the next, which is Cryptic Caves. Is it my turn or your turn? I don't even know.
Whatever.
Why don't you go?
So Cryptic Caves, it's colorless land. It taps to add actual colorless. You pay 1 generic, tap it, sack it to draw a card, but activate this ability only if you control 5 or more lands.
I like this card in a 1 or 2 colored control deck.
Yeah, I like this card. The thing that gets to me is that I guess you're going to lose Arch of Araska.
Right.
Here
I
shortly,
think it replaces Arch of Araska in those decks.
But the issue to that, I think you're playing Arch of Araska until
Yes, I agree.
it rotates.
However, we do have Crucible of Worlds.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like this is going to be really good once Crucible or once Crucible of Worlds will rotate.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so you're thinking now?
Now you could play it and draw a card every turn with Crucible of Worlds. You can play it for me.
And you could do it before. You could do it when you hit 6 as opposed to
having to ascend.
Actually having to ascend. Okay.
Yeah, so I could see some. Again, I don't think you're playing in a 3 color. I think it's a 1 or 2 color.
Yeah.
Because just it's a liability. Okay, so anyways, Evolving Wilds. We all know what this card does. It's getting reprinted.
So this one's Field of the Dead.
He's playing this card in Scape Shift.
I'm not playing this card in Scape Shift because somebody read this card wrong.
No.
So it says Field of the Dead enters the battlefield tapped to add a colorless. So when Matt first read this card, he's like, oh great. When it enters the battlefield or another land enters the battlefield, if you control 7 or more lands, create a 2/2. And he was like, this would be great in Scape Shift. And I said it's awful in Scape Shift.
Remember, we're reading these for the first time doing this set review.
We couldn't because I couldn't not read this card when you said something about it. It's 7 or more lands with different names.
So I'm gonna stop him because I think if you were playing a 3-colored Scape Shift deck, you'd have each of your checked lands. So there's what, 3 different checked lands?
Yeah, something like that.
And then there's 3 different shock lands.
Yeah.
And then you'd have basics too, plus this. So really, you don't even need the basics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be done. I'm just saying
all 7 come in at the same time.
What I'm looking for is not Field of the Dead.
But all 7 come in at the same time and make 7 zombies.
Yeah, and
we're done.
So
it's getting played.
It could be good. I like this card better though.
But it's my turn.
I know.
So it's Lotus Field, guys.
Should have gone backwards.
This is a weird land because it has hexproof. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters, you have to sacrifice 2 lands, but they don't have to be untapped lands. The previous iterations like this all said untapped lands. So you get to use your 2 mana. You get to play this, but you can't use the mana from this. And then, of course, if those 2 lands are plains, you can use that one thing that says
buys them back.
Yeah, whatever. Second chance or whatever.
No, it's a second chance, but buy back something, whatever, rebound.
So it's interesting, and this is probably a good long-term pickup, I think, because all things that say Lotus on it are a good long-term pickup.
It turns out that this thing, and I won't go into like the all the synergies for this thing, but like Amulet Titan, it'll be ridiculous. So
it untaps.
Yeah. So it also turns out that there's a card currently in Standard that works with this thing, called Blood Sun. Oh,
why don't you explain the synergy there?
So Blood Sun,
for those viewers that don't know what Blood Sun does.
Blood Sun says so. Long story short, removes the text off of it other than the mana ability.
Okay.
So Lotus Field enters the battlefield.
And taps for 3.
It enters the battlefield untapped. And says, tap add 3 mana of any one color.
And don't you draw a card for Blood Sun?
What's that? I don't know.
That
doesn't, like, that portion of it doesn't matter to me. Because this is also another card. Yeah, okay. And another combination we're going to be working with at some point.
Are you going to play this in Scape Shift?
I don't know yet. That's red.
You have to sacrifice 2 lands.
Then I'm red, black, and green. Like
okay, so then I didn't. So we have 5 temples. I didn't do these like as one item like I did with the game lands because we're only getting half the cycle. So we're getting the Golgari, the Simic, Orzhov, and Boros. So that it does imply that sometime, not necessarily the next set, but within a few sets, we're going to see the other cycle.
Yeah, this is enemy this time?
Yeah, these are enemy lands. So these are going to see play for the next 2 years. If you don't own a play set, it's worth picking them up because they're very cheap right now. They're like $1 for most of them.
They're good. Like they're just good all around lands to play. Everybody has to remember that we are going to lose lands when
we're losing the check lands for like the first time in a long time.
Yeah. So and there was some people who had thought because before when we had the check lands, it was like 3 or 4 cycles in a row.
Yeah.
So temples are a decent addition to a standard deck. They do help you to smooth out some stuff. And like
we don't have Mulligan Scry after Core Set comes out. So like Mulligan Scry gone, but you have temples. You still kind of get to smooth your draw at that point.
Yeah. So are we losing shocks?
We're not losing shocks.
Okay. So then the thing to remember, I guess, is the fact that the land you're losing is the one that checks for the basic land type.
Right.
So if it had been the other way around, I would say that these cards would work really not well.
Yeah, they would not synergize with the check lands.
I think Wizards did a very good job of actually placing the lands where they did. So
and then obviously like 2-color decks are still gonna. They could potentially still be fast. Like they have shock lands, they have basic lands. 3-color decks are gonna slow down. 2-color decks will probably slow down a little bit. So like mono red aggro is gonna be probably even better because we're gonna be slowing down the multicolored format.
Yeah.
So it does put aggro, I think, at a slight advantage, especially early on in the format.
I think the thing is that with these lands, the monocolored decks don't gain as much as with past iterations of lands. So like the shock lands, allowed a monocolored deck to just play a second color for free. Yeah. Play it in your sideboard if you wanted to.
This costs them something.
Like, and I think it costs them a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, because it is
slowing them down in turn. Yep. And I think that's it. That started the slideshow over with. So we are done with our on-the-fly set review because we kind of glossed over the spoilers, as everyone probably does right when the whole thing's released. Yeah. So you don't really pick up on the good cards or the bad cards. And then we ran through them, making these videos for you guys. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you stuck with us the whole time. And Friday this week, we're doing pre-release at 7 p.m. So instead of standard, we're going to have pre-release videos uploaded.
Cool little thing that
Wizards lets us do.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, everyone. Oh my God, he's going to make me.
Yeah, but you also we have one more thing next week.
What's next week? Oh, next week we're going to be at, well, it's not Grand Prix anymore.
It's not Grand Prix anymore.
It's Magic Fest Detroit. We're going to be down there. We're taking a lot of the store's inventory just to vendor it. And if you see us, we're going to be wearing polos that say Team Liberty MTG. So come say hi, introduce yourself.
You'll be there Friday?
I'll be there Friday with one of my coworkers to offload our stuff for the store. And then Garrison and I are going to be there on Saturday just kind of selling cards that, doing personal business.
Potentially some side events.
I don't think we're going to be playing in the main event.
No. That's team, isn't it?
No, it's sealed. For the new set.
Yeah.
So anyways,
and
he's going to make me do this now. So if you enjoyed the videos that we just made, hit the notification button, comment, And what's the last one? Subscribe
Subscribe.
to the channel, because that's the important one. Thanks, guys.